In today's episode of Level Up, we're taking a look at Fifine's new microphone, the Amplitank Tank3. That's right, it says the word tank, and it's not taking that word lightly. This thing is an absolute beast when it comes to build quality. But the question everybody wants to know is, how does it perform? What's the audio like? In this video, I'm going to break it down. We're going to take a look at it in unprocessed. Then we're going to throw it up against some other microphones that I have here in the studio, XLR USB combo mics, and we're going to throw some processing on it just to see how well this thing performs against the competition. Do I have you curious? Let's check it out together in today's episode of Level Up. All right, full disclosure before we get started, as you guys know, I operate by an ethics statement here on this channel in which I send all of my vendors that I work with, letting them know you can send stuff to me. It's not going to guarantee that I'll make a video. If you do send me one and I do make a video, the opinions expressed in my videos are mine and mine alone. They don't get to control what I say. And having said that, let's move on with the video review because I want to. I wish I had something fancier to say. I just want to. All right, so now I got my headphones on so I can hear what you guys have heard up to now. First impressions right out of the box before we go further with any of the other stuff regarding this mic. I like what it is. It's very clean. It's very crisp. I think it's well balanced for me. It kind of reminds me of the Rode Pod mic, but without that missing low end. Like it gives it just enough of that low end there where it doesn't give you listener fatigue. Now, I've only been listening to it here for about 2 to 3 minutes with my headphones, but just listening to it in my headphones, I'm just going to say I really like it. I like it in its bare bones. I feel like this is a sound that I could easily EQ and add things into it. Just so you guys know, I have it fed through my Rodecaster Duo as of right now, my desk setup. Processing is turned off. There's nothing done to it. It's straight out of the box. This is what you're listening to. I'm about 2 inches to 3 inches away from the mic. In the instructions, it recommends that you stay between 2 to 6 inches for this microphone for it to perform as it's intended. And out of the box, I like it. For $89, the build quality in this sound, clean and durable. You can't ask for more at 89 bucks. So that's just first impressions. So let's go ahead and go over what we're looking at when it comes to the Fifine Tank3. It is a USB and an XLR combo mic, USB-C to the cable they give you with this thing. Where did I put the box? When you open the box, the microphone's in there. Spoiler alert.
Wow. Where did you say you were from?
And then it also gives you this, there's nothing else in there but the mic, which is already right here, and this cable right here. And which cable is it that they give you? They give you a USB-C to a USB-A 2.0 cable, nice and thick, not thin, little Velcro strap to go with it. We'll try out USB-C in a minute. Right now it's XLR into my Rodecaster Duo. Wanted to run a typical setup that most people are using. Rodecaster is a very popular audio interface. I'm going to do a mic comparison a little bit later on in which I will hook it up into my Fine SC1 audio interface. But that's what comes in the box is the microphone and the USB-C to USB-A cable. Very nice. See, there you go. Just in case you were wondering if I was lying, there you go. I'm not lying. It really does come with that cable. So just in case you thought I was lying, I don't know. So again, back to going over it. What is it? The Tank 3 is a heavy-duty, solid metal microphone. It reminds me of the Fifine K689D, which I'll hold it up here in focus. This has got a black metal grill, where this is like a gunmetal grill right here. It's not as silvery as the pod mic. It's kind of like an in-between, which I like because in a dark room, it gives you just enough light fluctuation in there with like different kind of colors to kind of make it pop. You know, one of the things we like to do in our videos to make our microphones look really cool is shine different kinds of lights on it to give you that textured depth look. That metal grill kind of does that. It's really cool. I like that. Whereas the Fifine K689D is just solid black. The Tank 3 changes that up just a little bit. But same kind of build quality, just more of it. Side by side, you can see that the Fifine K689D is significantly smaller. Reminds me a lot of it, but it's got more to it. Now, Fifine does offer other microphones that are USB and XLR microphone like the Fifine K688 and the Fifine AM8, which are microphones that I really love, and they're growing on me. They age well. I was just thinking about that this morning. With all the other microphones I reviewed, I kind of consider Maono and Fifine to be like the PC and the Mac of microphones, and that under $100 range, just the heavyweights in this division for budget microphones for people getting started. And Fifine was always, whatever strengths they had as far as I thought out-of-the-box audio that they gave you, something easier to work with. Maono gave you that more of a better build quality. The Fifine K688 and the AM8 are plastic microphones. So they come out with the Fifine K689D, which heavy duty metal. Now they do their XLR USB and a heavy duty metal to kind of answer, or I think honestly they're kind of going after those people that love the sound of those other microphones, but the build quality wasn't enough to get them to pull the trigger on a Fifine microphone starting out. This solves that problem. Same quality audio, better build quality. Knobs. Yes, you see knobs here. You've got your microphone gain control, and you've also got your headphone volume control towards the back. And then on the back, you've got a USB-C input and also your XLR input and your 3.5 millimeter jack for your headphone direct monitoring. And you're not going to worry about putting this in your backpack and moving it around at all. Great build quality. Ooh, great sound test. Just right now, my air conditioner on the other side of the room about 30 feet away just kicked in. So I'm going to stop talking and see just how much background noise this picks up when I'm not talking. All right, that's with an air conditioner on in the room about 30 feet away, and that's what I'm getting there. This is USB-C mode, and I have it hooked up, and I have both XLR and USB-C connected at the same time. The reason I'm doing this is some of you guys like to use XLR and send out an audio signal via the USB-C connection to another device as a backup copy. So now you know what this backup copy would sound like if you're using it as far as audio quality. Is there any noise whatsoever? I don't hear anything in my headphones except me talking. So I'm going to stop talking. That doesn't work to this review, does it? Not bad. In USB-C mode, I feel like I can't really tell you what it sounds like in USB-C mode, because one thing that doesn't get talked about enough, I know Bark does this quite a bit and really brings it to my attention, is the audio quality of USB-C monitoring, headphone monitoring in USB-C mode is not accurate as far as what the listeners hear on your live stream. It's always important to go back and listen to the recorded copy on your computer for an accurate representation. Headphone monitoring to me in USB-C mode is just to make sure you're there. But as far as like EQ sounds, balancing out your voice in EQ, you're not going to get an accurate representation in USB-C mode. And just listening to the Rodecaster Duo earlier compared to this, I feel like I've already lost a little bit of that low end, that fuller sound. Feels a little bit thinner, or sounds a little bit thinner as I'm listening to it. So having said that, also headphone monitoring power, I wish there was a lot more to it. I do. So it's going to be just fine in a quiet room. In a louder room, I just wish I had a little bit more oomph. Just a little more oomph to overpower any background noises. I haven't mentioned this up until now because I'm all over the place this morning, but our mute button is right here, this little green button on here that works in USB-C mode. Let's go ahead and see if it creates any sounds as we're pressing it. 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickle. Picked a pack. Okay, so there you go. I'm curious now. I want to go back to XLR mode so we can listen to that and see if there's any noises when they're both hooked up as well. Back in XLR mode, but my USB-C is still plugged in, as you guys can see with the green light being illuminated. And we're going to test to see if, and there it goes. Heavy duty chunky monkey here on my low profile boom arm. And I'm afraid to tighten it anymore because I don't want to strip out my nut in my boom arm. So let's go ahead and test to see if the mute button works. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. No, it doesn't. I don't know. I know they only do it in USB-C mode, but one of the things I love about the Samson Q9U is that mute button works in both XLR and USB. And I have people that can just crash into a room in any second, and I just love that I can just go to a quick mute button real quick and just mute my mic instead of having to go to my right. And I don't know. It's a small thing, but doesn't do it. Let's get to the XLR comparison of the Tank 3 versus some of my other mics that I really like here in the studio, starting with the Tank 3. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers and he puts pineapple on his pizza. The Tank 3. This is the AM8, under $50. I have to change my gain knob from 98%, which is what I just had the Tank 3 on in my SC1 audio interface that you see right here. Okay, I had the gain at 98% for the Tank 3 just to get good my audio to fluctuate at -12 dB and peaking at -5. For the AM8, I was able to dial it back to 77% on the gain knob, and this is what it sounds like. Out of the box, if you don't know how to EQ, don't want to EQ, you want to plug it and go, this is one of my favorite mics out there for under $100, and it's under $50 on top of that. It's like in the 40s. It's crazy. Absolutely love this mic. It's got a plastic build quality. Some of the knocks are you can't really tighten it too much on the yoke to keep it from moving with the XLR cable. It just jiggles on you when you move it around, so it's one of those set it and forget it type microphones. But just sound quality alone, just love this microphone. Anyways, this is the fifine AM8. This is the fifine Tank 3. Back at 77% on my audio interface. Going to crank this back up to 98% to get my levels where they should be. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers and he puts pineapple on his pizza. 98% on the gain knob on the SC1. Moving on to the next microphone. This is the fduce SL40 on Amazon. Right now it goes for about $59.99. This is an XLR USB combo. It's got a body similar to the Shure MV7. Even has that like Sesame Street trash can body look to it. Just weird. I don't like that. But anyways, this is the sound of the SL40 in XLR mode. I was able to dial it back on the gain to 77% to get my levels around -12, -10 dB, peaking at -5 dB. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. The fduce SL40. Back on the Tank 3. Dial knob is back up to 98%, dialing it back a little bit. There we go. This is the Tank 3. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. XLR mode in the SC1. Moving on. This is the Maono PD200X. And let me, okay, so I'm going to have to crank it up a little bit. Cranking. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. All right. This is the, what microphone is this? This is the Maono PD200X. I've adjusted the gain knob on the SC1 to 80%. 80% on the SC1 audio interface, and this is what it sounds like. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. And this microphone goes for $69.99 on Amazon right now. Again, I'm going to have links to all these microphones in the description down below in case you like one over the other during this comparison. But this is the Maono PD200X. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, and he puts pineapple on his pizza. I'm going to move to the next microphone. This is the Tank 3. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. XLR mode in the SC1. Moving on. This is the Samson Q9U. One of the most polarizing microphones in all of YouTubedom, content creation. I can't speak. Anyways, it's polarizing. People either love it or they hate it. But I'm one of those ones that love it. I like it, especially on my voice. For my ears, I just like the way it sounds, especially when you put a pop filter on it. That sound right there with the mid-boost presence on there just sounds absolutely amazing. But anyways, this microphone without the pop filter, because it's a fair and honest review. The Tank 3 doesn't have a pop filter, so why should this one? Anyways, the Samson Q9U goes for about $99 on sale to $129 when it's not on sale. XLR, USB, mid-boost presence switches turned on in the back. All metal build quality. This is what it sounds like. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers and he puts pineapple on his pizza. Why don't you? Moving on. And we're back on the Tank 3. Back on the Tank 3. Let me see if I can look at it. Here we go. Anyways, back on the Tank 3. The gain knob has been dialed back from 99% or 100% for the Samson Q9U. Very gain-hungry mic over there. Back to 98%. The Tank 3. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. Next microphone. This is the Maono PD400X. This goes for between $119 to $149 on Amazon. It comes in a kit. You get the microphone. You get the stand with it. You also get a pop filter with it, and XLR and USB cables. This is what it sounds like. You also can use the Maono companion app with it. This is a brighter microphone, a lot bright forward, so to speak. And I love this one. Very bright and articulate, and it's grown on me over the years. I was okay on it in the beginning, but I really, really like it now. There you go. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. The Maono PD400X. Back on the Tank 3. And back at 98% on the gain dial, just in case I forgot to mention earlier, the Maono PD200X I had at 80% on the SC1, 80%. The Tank 3, Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. Next microphone. This is the fifine K688 XLR USB combo mic. Goes for around $70. Comes in white, pink, and gray now. I want to get the white one. I love it. This microphone, I think, has grown on me more than any other microphone. I thought it was a great... I did this video like a year ago on this thing about how it was a great alternative to the Shure SM7B. For spoken word, it'll do the job just fine. You don't have to invest $400 to sound good. This will do the job and get you started. And then when you find out if you even like doing YouTube, honestly, then go spend the money. But what a great spoken word microphone. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. And I am so ruthless and out of breath because I forgot to include this microphone in the review. And had to run downstairs in the middle of my son's live stream, go in the room and steal his microphone mid-gaming stream. So he's using his headset mic until I can bring this back. Because, you know, he bought it from me. He liked it so much. He just said, Dad, I want that. Okay, but just don't be surprised if I run downstairs every now and then and steal it from you midstream. That's what I did. Anyways, the fine K688. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. 76% on the gain knob. Back on the Tank 3, fifine Tank 3. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. We're going to wrap up with the two most famous microphones that you see on any podcast or YouTube channel, the MV7 and the SM7B. So let's get to it. This is the Shure MV7. Goes for $249, the XLR USB combo. I think it's probably the second most popular mic that you see on podcasts and live streams on YouTube or audio-only live streams. Anyways, there you go. This is the Shure MV7. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza, and I had to adjust the gain knob on the SC1 to 90%. 90. Back on testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. Back on the Tank 3 for the palate cleanser. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. He puts pineapple on his pizza. And now we are moving on to the big dog, the most popular microphone, the one that everybody wants to know what any microphone on this planet sounds like next to it. Here we go, the Shure SM7B. This is the only non-XLR USB microphone that is in this review. And the only reason I did that, because it's not a combo mic, this is the one microphone that everybody wants to see what microphone compares to or how it sounds next to it. So there you go. The most popular microphone that you're going to see on YouTube and live streaming goes for $400. Absolutely crazy for a beginner, I'm just saying. There are so many great options out there for less than $400 to get you started. Just saying. But anyways, it's a great mic. It still is. It's a great problem solver. Great at noise rejection, you name it. Sounds great. It's a very neutral mic that allows you to go wherever you want with it, but I also think it's one of the hardest mics to EQ to get that sound that just melts you. Anyways, the Shure SM7B. Okay, that does it for our comparison of the Tank 3 versus the other mics in XLR mode. I'm going to go ahead and take a break, then come back and listen to this on my editing computer over here and give you my final thoughts on the Tank 3 microphone for $89.99. Nodding my head. Don't know why. Bobblehead night in the studio. I'm just going to say right off the bat, my final thoughts on this microphone is the clarity of this microphone, the Tank 3, is what surprises me. I'm just amazed, and I don't want to use that word lightly. I'm amazed at how clear and how crisp and how concise the audio is that this captures. It really stood out to me in this review. It just really pops for me. It reminded me of the PD400X in its brightness and its high mids and low mids even. But what separated itself from the PD400X was I felt like this had more low end to it. It was more balanced, and I liked that. Another thing that the Tank 3 did for me is it really helped to bring out the other microphones and what I didn't like about them. Things even that I didn't really notice before that really stand out now. Like when it went up against the PD200X, it sounded muddier than I'm used to. I really like that mic. I think it's great value for that mic. I was really high on it when it came out because a lot of the Maono mics at that time had V-shaped EQ curves where it was missing a lot of the mids, very heavy in the low end, very heavy in the high end. And it gave you a different flavor, which I liked. I wanted something different to use and more balanced, and that did that. But up against the Tank 3, it sounded muddy to me. So I thought that was something that was very noticeable. Just looking at my notes, the PD400X, it made me feel like the PD400X, and as much as I love that one for its crispness and clarity, it's one of the brighter mics that I love to use. That and the Mackie AM99B are my favorite bright mics. Next to this one, it felt like it was missing low end. Like I needed to have it. It just felt off all of a sudden, and that's never happened to me before in a mic comparison. When it went up against the SL40 from fduce, boy, that made that feel like a wet, heavy blanket, like it's smothering. It just laying it on a little too thick for me. Again, it's something that the Tank 3 really made stand out. Up against the MV7 and the Shure SM7B, it just made it feel heavier than what I'm used to. Still fine. It didn't like make it seem like, oh gosh, that sounded terrible, but it just made it pop out that it felt heavier. And this felt more clear, more freeing, more energetic to me, and I like that. So let's get to the pros and cons regarding this mic. To me, this is what the Rode Pod mic should have been. This is what I wanted out of it. Great build quality, great highs, great high mids, but it just was too thin that it was harsh over a period of time. The Tank 3 adds just enough low end in there to sit comfortably on it and just give you a nice, enjoyable ride for long form content as well. Multi-purpose use microphone that's not going to wear your listeners down. Just going off what I just said on the PD400X and the Rode Pod mic, it's cheaper than both those microphones. So it's an improvement on both of those microphones, and it costs less. And you're not compromising build quality because, again, Tank 3 isn't just a clever nickname. It's built like a tank. Or the other pro was just its performance overall in spoken word. When you go from USB to XLR, there is a difference, but it's a slight difference. Like for people that are into audio, you're going to notice that difference, but for the general audience that doesn't know much about audio, they're not going to know the difference between USB and the XLR version. It gives you a different flavor, but not too extreme, not too different. Now on to the cons. The con that stood out to me was the power of the headphone monitoring. It's just enough in a quiet and noise-treated room. It's going to be just fine. But if you have fans or if you have an air conditioner running in the room or if you have outside noises, if you're trying to do a podcast in a cafe or someplace and you really want it and you're using USB because, again, you're trying to do a light footprint, light gear, minimalistic setup on the fly, that headphone monitoring, I worry about its ability to overcome and overpower the environment if the environment is an issue in the room. I just like to have a little bit more to overcome that. And the other con was that the headphone monitoring, and this is with all USB mics in general, I think, it's just not accurate as far as EQing. That's something you're going to want to dial in your studio when you record a segment. Go back, listen to it, try it out. If you're depending on just the headphone monitoring to dial in the EQ that you want, you're going to struggle with that. I think the headphone monitoring, it's a little lacking for me. So there you go, pros and cons, my final thoughts. To me, this is just what I wanted out of the Rode Pod mic, and it's cheaper. It's $89. The Rode Pod mic is $99. Again, it's just smooth, it's clear, it's crisp. To me, by definition, if I wanted to look at this microphone, especially for microphone reviews moving forward, I'm going to be using this in all of my reviews because I think this is a great palate cleanser. It really helps to bring out things in other microphones that might be a little too much. Great asset for content creators or people who are doing YouTube reviews where you need a microphone that really does cleanse that palate. Tank 3 does that for you. That does it for this review of the Amplitank Tank3 from Fifine for $89. If I had to give this a score out of a 10, I would give it a 9. So strong in so many categories. The only weakness to me was the headphone monitoring in USB mode. I'd give it a 9.5 if you were only going to be using this for XLR mode only. I give it a full point deduction for headphone monitoring and accuracy for EQing, if that's what you want to use it for. Other than that, just absolutely amazing mic at $89. What a steal. If I had to put this in one phrase, everything that you wanted out of the Rode Pod mic, this gives it to you. $10 cheaper, too, on top of that. Thank you for watching this episode of Level Up. My name is Mike Newman. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and the notification bell so you guys are notified when future content goes up because it is a-coming. Until I see you guys in the next video, I'm out.